Hello. Please enter your 6-digit conference code. Welcome to free conference calling. The conference has not started. If you are the host, please enter your 4-digit host code to open the conference. We will now connect you to your call. You are the first attendee in this conference. The host has joined the conference. Conference muted. Attendee name announce on.
Your eyes see through compassion. Your lips, they speak the truth. My selfish pride reacts and separates me from you. But if your strength is only seen within my weakness, then I'll surrender and give all I have to you. Take my will and make it your own. I'm on my knees, I'm letting go, seeking more and finding less of me, and now I'm free. So take my will, let your kingdom come, let your will be done. Your hands, they wipe the tears. Your feet, they find the need. My life is my distraction, seeking only what is good for me. But there's a light that shines on me here in the darkness, so I will follow and I believe. Take my will and make it your own. I'm on my knees, I'm letting go, seeking more of you and finding less of me.
All right, Anthony, I'm sorry, but that's your intro music for today.
What?
And you are on.
We're on. All right. Well, hey, everybody. How you doing? It's been quite the day to get here, but here we are. We're here. My guest still has not arrived just yet, but that's okay. They're on their way. They're coming from San Diego. Interesting. And we'll introduce him when he gets here. But I just want to say hello, good afternoon to everybody. It's good to be here. I'm so happy to be here. I'm still trying to get my stuff shared because we were having trouble again getting up onto Facebook.
No, we're up, man.
I know we're up now, but we were having our troubles because Well, that's because they don't, like I was saying on one of my recordings, they don't want men getting the power. And they don't want us to, in order for a revival to happen in this country, the men need to do what they're supposed to be doing. And it seems like that's how we got so far down the path. It's got to be the men doing what they're supposed to be doing. The Bible tells us that we're the spiritual leaders. So if we are not spiritual leading correctly our wives, our children, our communities, then where the heck did we expect this country or this world to go or be at? It's right where it would be expected to be at based on exactly how the men are acting out there. And that's kind of what this whole thing is about. Let me tell you a little bit about Men of Impact. It started as a Saturday morning Bible study that I used to attend. It was 2 times a month at a church that I used to attend. Through this group, I met some incredible men of impact. These men taught me what it looked like to be a dad, a husband, a spiritual leader, and a lot more than that. Isolation is not what God intended for us, yet that's our go-to move, right, guys? I mean, we build men cave, we go work on the car, our garage is all done up so that we can escape. We literally spend money to build man caves. So we still have that study, Saturday morning Bible study. We do it now at the Starbucks at Sycamore Creek Center off the 15 freeway exit, Indian Truck Trail exit. We're there from 6:30 to 8 a.m. every single week, rain or shine. I promise you we're there every week. Somebody is. We're not affiliated with any of the church. The Bible teaches us that we are the church and that buildings are just buildings. So we all come from different churches, what makes for a very good group to study the Bible. If you want more information about the group or materials, email us at menofimpact@gmail.com. It's menofimpact, MENOFIMPAKT @gmail.com. Right now we're studying the book of Daniel. If you can read the chapters 5 and 6, that's what we'll be doing this Saturday, 6:30 to 8 a.m. My guest just arrived. You probably saw him, or you will in a second after they go across the camera. But at 8 a.m., 6:30 to 8 a.m. Now, you younger guys out there, listen, guys, we ask for this Bible study. We ask to get up early on a Saturday morning, and we ask to just hang out with the guys and study the Bible. I have great friendships because of it, and so we meet, we talk, we joke, we laugh, and we study. The radio show is a manifestation of the impact these men have had on my life, and my daughters claim that those guys just aren't out there anymore, Anthony. My guest every week is a man that, go ahead and pull that a few inches away from the whole time, but yeah, you don't make yourself comfortable. You bring it to you, okay, Perry? My guest is a man who I consider to be a man of impact. He's made an impact, touched the entire world, just his family. Either way, I think it's the country, heck, the entire world that needs to know these real heroes exist in life, and not just on some stage, field, screen, or court. Men of impact come in all shapes and sizes. They're around us every day, but we miss them in our busyness. They're not perfect men, but they are men who understand that they can't be perfect and still fight to be every single day. They're our neighbors, our friends, our coworkers, our fathers, our grandfathers. You know them, they know you. Now, I'm pretty excited. Now, I'm going to meet my guest today for the first time when everybody here meets my guest. We're on the radio, and we're also on Facebook Live. Perry, that's your camera. And I'm pretty excited because if I think about it, I'm pretty sure I've never met a Navy SEAL. Okay.
You probably have.
They don't say it, huh? That's right. That's probably why I don't say it. So, but that's not why we're talking. We're not talking because Perry is a Navy SEAL. And is it former Navy SEAL?
Former.
It's former. Yeah. Former Navy SEAL. We're talking just because he's a man of impact, what he's doing out there right now to help the veterans. But it sort of seems when you were telling me about about what you were doing and the event that you had, it's centered around the veterans, yes?
It is actually. The whole premise behind our organization was the veteran aspect to begin with, but that just happened to grow. We never really know where things are going to go until they start going that direction. So it's the veterans are our main focus, but through our work with them, we're able to use their skills and everything that they have acquired throughout their time in service and help them direct their efforts and energy towards another community, which is the Gold Star family community. For those that aren't familiar with that term, Gold Star families are families that have lost somebody while on active duty, either overseas in combat or to PTSD-related suicides. And so we have these wonderful families, these kids and spouses that are also now impacted by the work of the veterans that are helping our organization.
And I kind of got ahead of myself, Perry. I hadn't introduced you, and I didn't let you introduce yourself, and then I just asked that question. But I'm pretty excited. I'm excited about the fact that it's Navy SEAL, but also because of this organization that you have. It's called Active Valor. So why don't you, again, you told us a little bit about it, but why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself, a little bit about your career in the military, maybe what Active Valor, how it got started, just a little bit about yourself, and then we'll get into some things that I have a lot of questions that I've been thinking about, and it's been a while. We've been trying to work this out. So,
Perfect.
Just tell us a little bit about yourself, Barry.
Well, originally I'm from the East Coast. So I grew up in New Hampshire. I enlisted back in 2005. So I was 20 years old at the time, left to go into the military. I spent my first year in the Navy over in Great Lakes, Illinois, doing boot camp, going through my A school, and some other training before I came out to San Diego. So I've been in San Diego now since February of 2006. So it's home now.
That's a lot different.
It's a lot different than New England.
Yeah.
They were still getting snow about a week ago. It's one thing I don't miss is the weather back home, for sure. But yeah, I've been in San Diego now for, what's that now, like 12 years? Yeah, going on, or just hit my 12-year mark.
Yeah.
So I did 6 years on active duty with the Navy. I was all the training for the SEALs are in Coronado, down right outside of San Diego. So
all the training?
All the training.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So whether once kids graduate, whether they go to the East Coast teams or stay on the West Coast, all of the training is centralized here in San Diego. So once I graduated training, I went to SEAL Team 7 here on the West Coast. I couldn't find myself to go back east, and
can't imagine. You're in San Diego, I mean,
right?
You're not.
I was young. I was a single guy, and making some good money with the military. So it was a pretty easy choice for myself.
That's not just Southern California. It's San Diego.
Exactly right. It's definitely one of the greatest cities.
Yeah.
In the country, but so I did 6 years. I was with SEAL Team 7. I've served over in Afghanistan back in 2009, and I left the service in 2011. So February 2011. So it's been quite some time actually. It's been 7 years that has gone by really, really fast.
Yeah.
Since then, and where the idea of Active Valor came from was through my struggles of discharging from the military. And like I said, it's been 7 years. Between that 7 years, I had 4 different jobs, just working things that weren't very purpose-driven in my life, which was difficult. Coming from the military where you have a drive, you have a passion, you're working towards something bigger than yourself, to now being on the other end where, you're just, how people put it, like just a civilian, and it was hard going from a community like that to, especially with my entire family is still on the East Coast. So
right.
I was
out
here by
alone.
Myself. Exactly. I was out here alone, and it
was
hard.
San Diego.
It is San Diego, but
I mean, it's not Sacramento, dude. I mean, it is San Diego. But I'm just saying. But I get you. That's a lot.
So it was difficult not having that structure and support system, and I think with a lot of the veterans that I have now worked with since I've been out, it seems to be a common theme of even those that are successful with starting their own business or having families, whatever it may be. And again, I don't speak for all, but I feel with most that there's that sense of purpose that you yearn for. You know, there's that sense of
Right.
service that it's in our DNA now. And so that's what we wanted to do, is we wanted to find a way to serve the community again, obviously in a different way from being on active duty in the military, but to still serve the country. And it took a while for us to figure out what that looked like. I feel like everyone wants to make a difference. You know, every decent
Yes.
human being wants to make a difference. They want to impact their community, but it's hard to really think about what that looks like.
Yes.
You know, I was in that boat. I was like, yeah, I want to do great things, but what does that mean?
What does that mean?
And so I was able to take my experience from being in the military, and then my experience of what it was like on the outside for so long, and having those difficulties and those struggles, and that's where we kind of formed what is Active Valor. And we were kind of able to touch different aspects in one. So on one hand, we wanted to help the veteran community by giving them a new sense of service, by giving them, you know, that mission,
Hope.
in life that we all yearn for. Hope's a great word. And then by doing so, you're also using their efforts, using their skills. I mean, we all acquire an amazing set of skills, no matter what your job is in the military.
Right.
You're a bundle of knowledge. And especially, we work with all different branches, all different rates, all different MOSs. I mean, we have guys from all different backgrounds, all different parts of the country that we work with, and they all have something to offer. And so we're able to give them a new sense of purpose and drive, and help another part of the community as well.
Community. I mean, that's crazy.
And so we work with these kids that, you know, unfortunately have all lost their fathers, whether it was to combat or whether it was to PTSD-related suicides. Some are even from medical issues and cancer. And you're able to, what we do is we pair them up with the veterans one-on-one. So we give the vets a chance to be in a mentorship role now, and teach these kids these skills that they don't have access to anymore now, having their parent gone. So in a way, you know, we're trying to help each other and heal one another by just investing time in one another. And then not only are we helping these kids, but also their mothers as well. You know, it's really hard for them to lose their husbands and to be taken from that community as well. So not only do they lose their loved ones, but now they're detached from whatever their command was, their platoons, their units, and it's a lot harder for these women to, now they're in single-parent households, some have
Right.
multiple kids, and they're wearing both the father and mother hats. And you know, I grew up in a single-parent home until I was 9. I mean, I have an understanding of what it's like, and to see how much of a struggle it can be. So in a way, we want to show these families that they're not forgotten, that there's still people out there that care about them, they care about the sacrifice that they have made to our country, and to be able to give them something special. So by working with their kids, and they doing the adventures we do, so we host different events throughout the year where we bring the kids together, and we
just had
we
an
just
event, right?
had we just had one in right at the end of February.
Right at the end of February. Tell us a little bit about that event.
So our program is called Valor Adventures. And we had our first one was back in September of last year. We were out in Warner Springs, which is about an hour east of San Diego. And each adventure we do has a theme to it. So the theme for the first one was based around land navigation. So teaching these kids how to read a compass, how to read a map, and read terrain. And we set up a big mission-based treasure hunt for them. So we started the day, you know, the kids get to meet their veterans. They get to spend some time learning a little bit about one another. And then we start our adventure where we would actually truck them up to their starting point, and they would just break off on their own and have a day of learning different skills, solving different clues and puzzles where, you know, they had to work together, utilize teamwork. And with each waypoint that they came to had, you know, a challenge that they had to overcome in order to keep advancing until their end goal, which was actually buried treasure for them to find. And then once they were done, they headed back to camp and had a day of, we had an awesome catered lunch. We had games and stuff set up for them. We had the moms had their own personal section where they can bond together as well, which is extremely important for them because now they're around other women that have all gone through the same tragedy.
Right.
So now they're, it's a lot different when they're with the wives of their husbands, platoons and units. It's a lot different because they don't really understand what they're going through. So in a way, they're very separate and detached from that community. So it gives them the chance to share their stories with one another. They're all in different levels of grieving. Some had lost their husbands years ago, 13 plus years ago, and we had one family that was very fresh. It wasn't even a year at the time. So they're able to hear from women that have actually gone through their same situation and can learn from their stories on the best way to help them personally. So we just had our second big event less than a month ago, or right about a month ago. Mm-hmm. And it was at a location in San Diego called Strategic Operations, which is a hyper-realistic training environment. Back in the, I think the 80s and 90s, it was an old film studio, and they would do a lot of different TV shows and movies there. Now it's used by military and law enforcement to do different active shooter scenarios. They do tactical medicine. They do a lot of different things there, but it's a phenomenal place. It's a big playground, especially for the kids and the vets alike.
Right.
And then we focused the day on teaching the kids how to do surveillance and recon. And we grouped them up into 3 different groups depending on their age, and they all had different parts of the mission that they had to solve for the greater good. And we had the opportunity to bring in role players this time. So they had people that had to be all sneaky peeky and avoid the role players and the bad guys, and it was just a lot of fun because they get to be kids.
Right.
Everything is put on the side, and the vets and these children get to it's a giant playground.
Kids, right.
They get to they get thrown in their imagination, right. And it's a really great day for everybody.
And so when you started, you didn't see all these levels, or did you see all these levels?
We didn't.
That's kind of how it goes with the ministry, dude.
Exactly.
Kind of how it goes,
We knew what it was going to mean for the veterans, and we kind of had an idea of what it would be like for the kids, but we really didn't have the insight on how impactful it was going to be on
right.
the moms.
Right.
And they get to see their kids off with men that have walked in the shoes of their husbands and know that they have very valuable life skills that they are able to teach their kids, and but just to see them have fun and smile for the day, and to really just be a kid for the day, which is huge.
And it kind of really fits into all of everything. And I know when I started Men of Impact, it was to talk to men, and then the radio show has a lot of women that watch it. So, and I can see where that would be beneficial, because this is what a Man of Impact looks like. Maybe that. And I'm just because I'm real, maybe that lug sitting on your couch there, not doing you any good and not being nice to you, isn't really who should be sitting on your couch there. Just kind of those kind of things have happened, as well as kids look at their fathers. Wow, you were considered a man of impact. Anyway, so all of these things that you're doing in these events that you're doing, man, that is really something else. And how old are you? Because you look really young.
I'm 33.
33 years old. Okay, so he's 33 years old, guys out there, everybody out there. And you've been doing this for how long now?
We started just over a year ago. October 2016 is when we started. We became an actual nonprofit March of last year. So we actually just hit our 1-year mark for being a nonprofit. Yes.
But you started doing this before.
Yes.
And I hear you. So. Okay, so now I have lots of questions about, and everybody, it's Active Valor, www.activevalor.com, right?
Correct.
And do you have opportunities for people to serve? Is it just for military to serve? Is there, and when is your next event coming up?
So we, as far as our mentors go, all of our mentors are veterans. They do have to be you have to be a veteran. And we have a lot of volunteers that help us out, which are normally their spouses and that want to give their time to help us kind of coordinate the day. Their wives are kind of there to tend to the Gold Star spouses that are there. And but we did have a lot of volunteers this past one that were the role players for the mission for the day. And I'm sorry, what was the second part? I lost it.
So did I just now. I was looking at my computer. Anyway, let's go on from there.
Okay.
What was the second part? Did you know, Sean? Thank you so much.
We're all lost.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. It's only live. But going on from there, the other thing that I think about that fits right in, because, and we're talking that are these kids, they've lost their father?
Yes.
Okay, so because it's a big thing there too that you're helping these kids they get to be around a male figure, and I don't know. I know it's only for a day or what have you, but really, what's really going on in this country is that they're tearing the family down by tearing the men down, and really we need to step up and be the spiritual leaders that we need to be to do men and do the things that we want to do. Be men of impact because we're going to make an impact somewhere, right, Perry? We're
somewhere, hopefully.
That's right, and we're going to make an impact. It can be negative, or it can be positive, because you're not married, right?
Not yet.
So you're engaged.
Well, I am.
If I remember correctly.
Yes, I am.
Okay. Do you want to say hello?
Hello, Jamie. I love you. I think she's driving home from work right now, so she's probably not listening, but she'll see you
hear
later.
It. That's right. So, you don't have kids?
Nope, no kids.
Okay. So, when you look at all the statistics about fatherless homes, whether it's because for whatever reason, the father could be living there but is an absent father. Right. It could be, an abusive father. All of that, I consider an abusive father a fatherless home. If you're beating your kid, you're not being a father. If you're telling them that he's stupid, dumb, it'll never be anything, well, you're not being a father. So that, to me, that is a fatherless home. So you're, again, all of these levels, and that's kind of where Men of Impact is kind of about. You're impacting so many different levels, but you were talking also, and I don't know, because I don't know you, and I didn't get to ask all the questions, so I don't know where some of the... anyways, so I'll just ask the questions. It's my show. You can answer it or not.
Okay, let's do it.
So when you got out of the military, because you served in Afghanistan, you said, right?
Correct.
That's not a picnic.
It's not.
So
no vacation.
No vacation, right? So when you got out, you said you had difficulty integrating back into society.
Right.
And was it just society? Did you suffer from PTSD? What can we what would you tell people out there? Because if you're helping these veterans, I'm sure there's some kind of counseling going on, at least talking to your friends or that kind of thing. So for all the guys that are out there listening that aren't getting help, or that, I don't know, think it'll go away, or that are hopeless at this time.
I feel like it's a little it's going to be different for everybody, yeah. But overall, I mean, everyone, whatever your reasons are for your struggles, what helped me personally was, or what didn't help me. I guess I'll start with that.
Let's start with what didn't help.
What didn't help me was, I didn't have a plan when I got out. I did the whole, I'm going to take some time off. I just got out of the military. I want some me time. I ended up going back to school for just under a year, and but I didn't plan ahead, so that was mistake number one for me. Because you get stuck in that comfort of you're at home every day. There's no responsibility.
Oh yeah,
which is great. It was great at first until
especially in San Diego.
Yeah, it was really good at first until it catches up to you for sure. But I
both mentally, financially, mind, body, spirit.
Everything.
Yeah,
everything. Leaving the military for me, not only did you leave the community, the camaraderie, but the responsibility, the structure, the steady paycheck. And there's a lot of things that go into it that you kind of don't really think about at the time. And it seems like a great idea at the time. But for me, yeah, I didn't make a solid plan. I didn't line up any jobs or anything like that. So I think that for me, mistake number one. The second thing was, at the time I was living down in Eastlake. So I had a condo, I had a 3-bedroom condo in Eastlake, living by myself.
Wow,
It's a lot of space. A lot of space for one person.
Young guy, single, in San Diego, good look. Oh yeah, you were balling. Dude.
Yeah, that was.
You were a baller.
You might
right
think so. But what was really hard for me is I got stuck in this state of seclusion, where I kid you not, I would go 3, 4, 5 days without seeing another human being, and that it was tough because then.
Yeah.
You know, all you have is time to think about your situation, about things that are, you know, going wrong,
Spinning
things
in
you
your
would have
head.
changed, things a lot of things, a lot of thoughts come into play. But what helped me, what actually was kind of my saving grace, was I ended up getting a dog, and which changed my life. So I got myself a puppy, which is awesome. I got responsibility back. Now I was in charge of this living creature. But also, it forced me outside. You know, I got to take care of it. Got to bring it on walks. So I started being outdoors more. I started meeting people. I started meeting neighbors. And I would meet them, and they'd be like, "Oh, you know, did you just move into the neighborhood?" And it's like, "No, I've been here for a year. You know, you've never seen my face. Sorry." But it was great for me to get back into society, really. And then after that, I had a friend of mine that kept inviting me to his church, and I was always a believer, but never really a follower, I guess, if you want to say
fan.
that.
Yeah, a believer.
I was going to live my life the way I wanted to and the way I felt that it was best for me. And so I had a friend of mine that kept inviting me to his church, and for I think about 6 months, I kept putting it off. Eventually, I finally made my way, more so he would stop bugging me. But I finally made my way.
Happens
down
like
there.
that a lot.
Yeah, and I'm sure it happens more often than not.
Yeah.
But kind of restoring my faith was a big reboot for me.
Big reboot, right? I get that. That's kind of
it kind of forced me to start changing the way I lived. I mean, everything, and I tell people this all the time. Like, I had a very selfish way of living. Everything was about me. You know, me. When's my next paycheck? When's, how am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? How am I going to pay for this? Everything was about myself. And once I finally had that mind shift of, all right, what if I started doing things for other people and maybe
for Jesus,
getting a little exactly,
which would be doing for others.
And I, in return, started getting a little more self-satisfaction, which makes you a happier person.
Right.
But then it was just my attitude changed. And if you could see me 4, 5, 6, 7 years ago, the people that knew me back then, I had a lot different attitude. Because I had a very poor attitude back then. So I was probably one of the most negative people you'd ever meet.
I can't even imagine.
Very
I can't see that at all.
I complained about everything. It was really bad. I was falling into a really, really bad spot. But it wasn't until then where things started really changing for me. And it was really just a matter of changing my outlook and how you view things and trying to, and it was a struggle. It was a struggle.
It ain't easy, right?
But even just switching your mindset of like just trying to, the whole the glass half empty, half full, and that's what personally did it for me, and started treating people differently, and people started seeing that and started treating me differently, which was a more positive thing. But it also it started slowly bringing me out of my seclusion and putting a little more trust in people and a little more faith in people and opening up to people. And I was able to share my story with a lot of people as well. But that's when I really started meeting a whole new group of people, making new relationships and new friendships, which is getting into church. It was extremely easy, but hard at the same time.
Right.
And no matter how many people told me that, you don't want to believe it. You don't want to believe it. And I mean, I had so many people like, oh, and just come with me to this, come with me to this, but you really get stuck in your ways, and that's what the hardest thing is. Sometimes the biggest thing to help me is just kind of letting go. Realizing that I was in control of my life, and obviously it wasn't working for me. So
let's
control up, and yeah.
All right. So we got to take a break here, but listen, we're going to talk more about Jesus. This is again, see that again. I've been telling you guys that's really the key to all of it, and you hear it right here. And we've got a question here from Brian Briggs when we get back too. So we're going to just take a short break for a minute or two, probably 3. Listen to my friends here at HopeRadio247.com. Thank you for tuning in. We'll be right back with Perry Yee.
Hi, this is Ray Sanchez. I'm a volunteer here at Hope Recovery Center, and you are listening to Hope Radio 24/7.
Hi, this is Anthony Sadi with Men of Impact, and you're listening to Hope Radio 24/7. I want to introduce you to a friend of mine, Mike Norsha, who is a man of impact and a business owner. He owns a NutriShop in Lake Elsinore. So for all your health needs, which can help with your weight loss, your weight gain, just to get in shape, you need supplements sometimes to help you out. Not sometimes, all the time. So go see my friend Mike Norsha. You can find him at Lake Elsinore NutriShop. They're at Lake Elsinore. Their Instagram at Elsinore NutriShop. Facebook is NutriShop Lake Elsinore. All guests who listen and mention Men of Impact receive a free in-body analysis and a free meal plan and a free gift with purchase. So if you want to drive by there or you're in the neighborhood, you can find them at 29280 Central Avenue, Suite C in Lake Elsinore, California, 92530. Or you can call them at 951-674-1550. And his email address is also NutriShopLE@gmail.com. Go in, see Mike Norsha. It's a family business, family-owned business, a Christian family. See Mike Norsha, his beautiful wife Chelsea. You might even catch his son Mikey in there. Tell him Men of Impact sent you, and Anthony Sadi said hello and we love him. Want to get strong? You got to go see my brother Brian Stone King at CrossFit School of Sweat. Contact him for a free one-on-one consultation trial session to evaluate where you are, what your goals are, and how to best get you there. Use his website at www.schoolofsweat.com to get in touch. Call or text him at 951-743-3439 or contact him through the Facebook page at facebook.com/CrossFit School of Sweat /CrossFit School of Sweat. They're also on Instagram at CrossFit School of Sweat. Brian Stone King has CrossFit certificates in Level 1, Level 2 scaling and judging courses. If you mention the Men of Impact radio show during your consultation, you'll get a free t-shirt with your sign-up. Thanks. Go see Brian. Get strong.
Welcome back. Your dreams were your ticket out. Welcome back.
All right, and we're back. Thank you so much, everybody, and thank you, Mike Norsha and Brian Stone King, for all your support. Wow. We're here again. Here we are in Corona, Temescal Valley style, or Temescal Valley, Corona style, at Hope Recovery Center on Hope Radio 247. So it's always great to be here. Hey, what's up? How come you don't have your new logo for the screen there? What's going on?
Falling behind.
Yeah, you're falling behind.
All these radio hosts want me to do a whole bunch of other stuff.
It's your logo.
I haven't had a chance.
Anyway, so here we are, Men of Impact at Hope Radio 247. Tune in. There's tons of different shows. If you look, there's a whole list here of different shows, men, women, the Bible, whatever it is. If you need some help, tune in. What we're doing is we're just bringing hope to the world. That's our goal. We've been seen in over 80, heard in over 80 countries, not seen. And today it seems like Facebook is doing me right today. We're not having any troubles, and I'm glad. Although Perry just told me he took 3 hours to get here, so that is commendable. I appreciate that. Can we get
A golf clap.
Yeah, thank you. Standing O for Perry. Because usually the traffic coming this way isn't bad. So I appreciate you coming out here and whatever we can do to help. Now, there is a question here from I got a friend of mine, Michelle. Michelle says, "Thank you for your service."
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you, Michelle.
I have Brian Briggs, who we had on a few weeks ago, and Brian, I still don't know where the Facebook feed. I still don't know. My engineers don't know. I am so sorry. All I have is the audio. I'm still looking. It's got to be out there in the internet somewhere. I can't believe it just disappeared like that. But I don't know. It's okay. Gives me a reason to invite you back. Gives you a reason to accept the invitation. But Brian ask you about the K9 meetups. What is that?
All right. So we, when we first launched, we started a K9 outreach program, and what that looked like was a good friend of mine by the name of John Devine. He was a former SEAL as well, and he was a K9 handler in the SEAL teams. We started a program where he wanted to donate his time, and he knew we were working with veterans, and he wanted a chance to give back as well. So what we did is we came up with a way where we offered it to any veteran with a dog, without a dog, but he would donate his time twice a month, where we would meet down in Balboa Park in San Diego, where vets would get together with their pups, and he would offer free behavioral training. Nothing super extensive, we weren't trained in working dogs or anything like that, but just a good excuse to want to get vets out of their homes. That was the biggest part, was to get them out of their homes, outside, enjoying San Diego, meeting other veterans, kind of networking, connecting, meeting other men and women that are in the same situations as they were. And then as an added bonus, they get some free dog training from a professional, and which is actually where we met Brian, who then later became one of our veteran mentors for our Valor Adventures. So that alone created that relationship and that friendship, and it did exactly what we were hoping for. We were as veterans meeting veterans and connecting and seeing how we could impact one another's lives. And but going back on the K9 program, we offered it to any veteran with a dog. Any veteran without a dog could come to us as well, where we would connect them with one of the local shelters that was willing to work with us and help them acquire one so they could start coming through the program. But earlier I mentioned what getting a dog did for me.
Yes.
It was the most impactful thing
Monumental
for me
for you.
in my life.
Right.
John, coming from the SEAL teams as a K9 handler, also knew the benefits of having that relationship with these animals. And that was something that we wanted to provide for these vets as well, and which was great because every vet that came to us did already have a dog. So they already had that bond. They already had that relationship. Some wanted to come and just be outside and meet other veterans. They had perfectly trained dogs, and then we had some vets come to us that had very troublesome dogs, and it was actually very rewarding to see over time how actually the very first meetup we did, we had this Navy veteran, and she had this awesome dog, like such a sweet dog with people, loved people. You could get all up in his face, and super lovable dog, but had very bad dog aggression. So we literally had our circle of vets, and we had to keep her about 15, 20 yards away from the circle, and John would just kind of bounce back and forth, helping her. And over time, we would bring them a little closer. And unfortunately, she had to leave our group. She was moving back to Florida. But her very last meetup that she came to, her dog was in the middle of our pack, and we would actually start every session off with a quick little pack walk around the park, and he was integrated with everybody, acting perfect and like no aggression, and to see the amount of stress levels that she had come down, and to see this program actually being beneficial. We still get updates, like she'll send us pictures of her back in Florida with her dog and her parents' dogs all together in the kitchen and in the home, and you know, being all lovable and friendly, and it's great. That's what we wanted to do it for. We wanted to, you know, provide them an outlet, no matter what it was, whether it was with their dogs, whether it was with them. But it was great because we've seen a lot of friendships grow from out of it as well. And you know, that's why we do it. So that's what's rewarding for us, is to.
Now, how are you? Because when you started doing this, right? Did you have people in mind? Were there friends of yours? Did you? I mean, where do you find the vets? I guess is what I'm asking.
We basically started with social media. So for all those listening, you can find us on Facebook at Active Valor. We're on Instagram at Active Valor as well. And we just started posting content, and the first couple meetups we did, we created the event on our Facebook page, and our followers saw it, and you know they could click if they're attending or not, and we kind of didn't really know how it was going to go.
Right.
The very first time we did it, we had a good turnout. I think we had about 8 dogs there. And so, you know, some people just showed up randomly. They heard it through a friend.
Right.
John was posting it on his social media as well. And actually, some of our good friends now that we've met through our program were following him and his page. And so they heard about it from his page, and they were local, and that's kind of how we got our first run. And then since then, you know, we were able to gather our own content. Our following started growing as well, and so really it word of mouth and through social media is what helped us out the most.
So you keep saying we and our, and you know what I mean? So this wasn't you all by yourself.
This was not me all by myself. I'm actually probably 10% of Active Valor. The other 90 being my fiance Jamie. So we started this together.
Is she military?
She's not military.
Okay.
So we actually met at church. Yep. So we met. We're going on 4 years.
Come on already.
And we had this dream together, and we were bouncing around with the ideas for the longest time, and like we were saying earlier, like we knew we wanted to do something. We didn't know what it looked like yet, so it took a while for it to develop. But once we did, you know, we started small. The Valor Adventures program was the heart behind it, but before we could kind of mold it into what it is today, you know, we had to start somewhere. Mm-hmm. So, and that's where we started with the K9 program. We have a care package program that we offer as well on our website, and what that looks like is people will purchase boxes, whether it's like a hygiene kit or comfort food or whatever it may be. They purchase it through our website, and then we actually pack it ourselves, and we'll get parties together where we get a whole bunch of vets together, have a big packing party, and then we ship all the boxes overseas. So I mean, it's kind of our way of not only helping the veterans by bringing them together, but we get to help the ones still.
They order that on your website?
So they go to right on our website,
www.activevalor.com/care
packages, I believe it is. But there's a bunch of different options, and so we would get people. It was right around the holiday season, so it was actually timing just worked out perfectly, and we were able to ship a lot of supplies overseas to men and women still in the fight.
And it's just a care package for them. So some of it is just like candy bars,
right? Well, so we do all the shopping, all the buying, shopping, packaging, shipping. So on their end, it's they click what they want to get purchased, and we do all the legwork. But
they pay for it.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, and then you do all the legwork and you send it out, and I mean stuff like that. Even okay, because here's part of it, Perry. Part of it for me, and part of it is something like that. Like, who do you contact to send those packages to?
So we personally, we would reach out to people that I knew overseas. We would go online. There's actually websites online where people on active duty can put their address in and supplies that they need. Sometimes they're very specific on what they want, what they need, what they don't have access to, how many males, how many females. Like sometimes they give a lot of information, which is great. But it's good for us because we don't want to be sending generic packages over. We want to send them things that they actually will get use out of or things they miss from home. And on the return side, it's great when we get letters back from overseas of people that have actually received our packages and knowing that it actually helped them, or just put a smile on their face. I've been there, and getting a package from home is huge. Yeah. no matter what's in it, it could be a box of air, but it came from home, and you get to kind of breathe in that American air real quick before it evaporates. No, but it's such a great feeling, just to know that people are thinking about you and that what you're doing is still appreciated back home. But we're able to let them know, and then every veteran that helps us writes their own personal note, tosses it in, and it's your way of kind of sharing who you are and giving your thanks for your brothers and sisters that are still serving.
So they're talking to a brother and sister. Right. They're just not there with them.
Right.
So they know what to say. You guys have a better idea what to say who somebody who's non-military for sure. And and it probably means something more to them too, that is coming from a brother in arms or a military person, not just that they don't know. Right, most of the time.
Yeah, I don't think any of them.
You know what I mean? Really. That's very cool. It's one thing when you get something from your wife. You better get something from your wife. You know what I mean? It's another thing when you get something from somebody you don't even know.
Right.
It's just because. So.
Yeah, it's a great feeling, and it's so we offer it to anybody who wants to just do their part in sending something overseas. We offer company care packages as well. A couple months ago, we had actually back in December, a company called ADS sponsored 2 company care packages, so $5,000 worth of supplies.
Nice.
Which was big for us. It was obviously our biggest shipment that we've had to send over, but it was a lot of fun because we got to involve a lot of people, and we went down to one of our local coffee shops, Trident Coffee in Imperial Beach, and he opened up his shop to us, and we got a bunch of vets together, had a factory line going, and I think we ended up sending over about 61 boxes overseas.
So a lot of it, you're pounding the phones, dude. I mean, you got to make phone calls, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not my favorite thing.
But you got to make phone calls and you got to ask. And I guess that's one of the things I wanted, one of the messages I want out there for the guys out there is that you just did it. You made it happen. Don't be scared. No negative thinking. You're getting it done, dude. It's very commendable that you're getting it done, Perry. And you're just one foot in front of the other. I can't tell you how many times have we heard him say already, well, we didn't know, but so we did this.
Yeah, you just gotta keep moving forward, whatever it may be, and
right.
We're still unsure where the direction's going to take us.
Right, but you got to keep moving forward.
Exactly.
And there's many times where you thought this isn't going to work. I know there is
plenty of times,
dozens of times.
I still get it.
Right.
The feeling still comes, and it's always going to come. But it's how you take it, and then it's how you can turn it around. And you're always going to have those negative thoughts. You're always going to have maybe somebody standing in your way saying you can't do this, you can't do this.
And this is coming. Listen, I got to put this in perspective for everybody. This is coming from a former Navy SEAL, which means he got to a level where the percentage is very small, right?
think,
A lot of
I think
people-
it's around 15%.
15% get through, right?
Correct.
So this is a Navy SEAL who was negative and didn't think it, right when you first got home, and this is where it all came from. You were negative, one of the most negative people you ever known.
Oh, yeah.
Right? It was everybody else's fault. All your troubles, all your problems, right? The bad attitude.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this was a guy who was able to somehow or another power through all of that and make it to Navy SEAL, right? So, and my point is here, there's hope. There's always hope. But you have to be able to, you have to be willing to.
That's a very good point. There's answers everywhere. And you probably get answers every day. You don't decode them properly.
You don't
And
decode them properly. That's very well put.
I'm sure there's plenty of times where it was in my face telling me where to go, what direction to go to, and I either A, didn't want to hear it, or I was kind of
Too Perry. Too much.
too much pride.
Yeah.
And that's a huge issue with a lot of vets. Is
A lot of men.
a lot of men. Period.
Period.
You know,
right.
we don't want to put that pride aside. We don't want to think we're wrong, or we don't want to ask for help.
Dude, you're a man.
That's a big thing. Nobody wants to ask for help.
Right.
We don't want to stop and ask for directions.
Right.
We'll find it. We'll find it there eventually.
You're a man. You're military, and you reached SEAL. That's a lot of pride that you had to break through. Really?
It was, yeah. No, it really
for
was.
no other reason other than you're just a man,
Yeah.
and that's just kind of how it's going to build for you. A young man, that's just how it's going to build for you to accomplish those things. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then to come back and go, whoa. And that's kind of what happened, right?
Yeah, it takes you to kind of just get out of the driver's seat.
Right.
And
Jesus, take the wheel. I'm
Yep.
just saying. I mean, I preach it all the time. I mean, our biggest problem as men is that we got to be in control. We got to be our own God.
Right.
We want to be our own God. This is what we need God to be. And not just men. I mean, all you have to do is look at the shape of the country to know that we're a country full of people that want to be their own God. It's even, you even see it in the church, right? But that's, and Jesus can help us through all of this. Now, we're running out of time, Perry, so I want you to talk about the next event, details, again, your websites and stuff too, okay?
Got it.
Okay.
So one of the biggest things with our Valor Adventure program is we wanted to make sure that the connection between the families and the veterans stayed. We didn't want to be like a once-a-year type of thing where, it's thanks for coming, we'll see you next year. We wanted to involve each other in their lives. And we highly encourage the vets to, reach out, whether it's even an email, or a FaceTime, or we have a lot of our mentors that will reach out to the families, take the kids out to a movie or to go get ice cream.
That is what I'm talking about,
it's
brother.
Awesome. It's so great to see because we'll get the photos, which is what we love to see, like them out doing stuff together.
Yeah.
And so every event that we have, we keep the same kids and the same vets paired up, and then we just add on with each one. So next up, we have we're doing actually a small little meetup where we're going to the iFly in Oceanside to the wind tunnel and letting the kids and vets experience getting in the wind tunnel for a little bit. We'll have lunch for everybody, but just time for them to bond, and to get reconnected. And then our next actual adventure is going to be June 16th. So coming up here, we're still working on details. We actually just had a little meeting with all our some of our mentors to get their ideas, get their inputs on what they want to see, the things that they want to do, and it's always great to get their feedback because they're the ones working with the kids.
Right.
All we do is we put it together.
Logistics.
We're orchestrating it, but we wouldn't be what we are today without our mentors. Like they're the ones putting in the work. They're the ones that are actually putting in the time
so awesome,
with these kids.
So
and
awesome.
It's because of their efforts
that's
Jesus. making the difference. So June 16th is our next event. Again, you can find all our details. Our website is activevalor.com. You can find us on Instagram, on Facebook, both at Active Valor. And it's fun. You can kind of share our journey and see where things are going. We're always, including people in our adventures. Everything that we do is strictly donation based. 100% everything that we get goes into the company. We actually just had our very first fundraiser back in February as well. So not only were we planning the event, we were planning the fundraiser literally a week before.
Sure,
and it was didn't
really think that through, did you?
Really didn't. I'll take the blame for that. But it was very, very successful.
Good.
I mean, we had no business putting on a fundraiser like this. But we had just over 150 people come and join us for dinner and get to hear about our mission and who we are. And it was very successful. And but for anybody that would like to learn more about our mission and what we do, please head to our website. Again, that's activevalor.com. There's also options for if people wanted to donate, whatever, little, big, that doesn't matter. Absolutely everything helps, and everything that we do get 100% goes into our programs and into the lives of these vets and in these Gold Star families.
Well, thank you. Thanks, Perry. Thank you so much. We got a couple minutes, so I'm gonna say, tell your girlfriend you love her one more time.
I love you, Jamie.
So we only got a couple minutes. We got to go. So I want to thank you. I want to thank you very much, Perry, for being here.
Thank you for having me.
It was such an honor, and thank you for your service.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
And it was an honor to have you here, and we learned a lot about what he's doing. I can have him on a whole nother time to talk about the military, but right now we're talking about Active Valor too. But it's one of those things that I would like to stay. Well, I can just by the website, but I'm going to stay. I'd like to stay connected because it's something I'm very passionate about too. And the fact that you're giving these guys a chance to get out there and give them another purpose or repurpose, right. Really. You're repurposing their life, giving them hope, because a lot of these guys, I'm sure, come to you when they really don't know what to do and they might be hopeless. But on top of that, to help the kids, because, again, like I said, the numbers are astronomical. 90% of all prisoners in America are males. So it's just the fatherless and the families being torn down, and that's kind of what we're here for. So you guys, these kind of things are happening around, and this is kind of what Men of Impact is all about. Finding these guys, ordinary guys doing extraordinary things. Just an ordinary guy doing extraordinary things out there helping his community, helping his community and helping his community not just around in San Diego, but helping the veteran community as well. And we just appreciate everything you're doing, Perry.
Thank you very much again.
And you guys, log on, donate, find out what you can do. If there's anything down there, anybody down there listening in San Diego, if there's anything you do, for sure, get ready for next year's fundraiser, which I'm sure won't be so close to a event.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. We don't know. We don't know what's going to happen.
Right. So remember, everybody out there, I love you, but Jesus loves you more.
Thank you.